Good evening, Miami. This is Rob Piper, candidate for District 3 City Commissioner, and welcome to my fourth Zoom side chat, aka Virtual Town Hall. And for this particular week, I wanted to share with you all, those of you who are tuning in now and those who are like watching. I just want to tune in, share with you the community budget meeting that I attended last Tuesday, where the City Office of Management and Budget, they held a briefing where they would give community members the across Miami, there were five of these across Miami, the chance to hear about the 2024-2025 fiscal year budget and a chance to ask questions and get any of those questions answered. Again, there were five of these across District 3. The one that I attended happened to be was over in my neighborhood of Shenandoah at the Shenandoah Park. And yeah, it was advertised on the city social media, but I don't think a lot of people got the word. I found out about it from my neighborhood association president, who found out about it in a WhatsApp chat, in a WhatsApp group. But that's neither here or there. I do think that the city did advertise on its social media. So to its credit, it did get the word out. It wasn't on the official list of city meetings, unfortunately. But one thing that I think it was, it became very much a town hall where public forum where some of the most relevant city departments were there to answer questions as well. Like the police chief was there, the Miami City police chief was there, the solid rep from solid waste department, the zoning department, public works, and of course management and budget. Yes, also the compliance department of zoning compliance was there. I think that's what it's called. Well, the department that does zoning. So yeah, there were what I saw there was a good, healthy, healthy way to engage the public. What I did see was there seemed to be a lot more representatives from the city than there were actual residents. But I think that there is an opportunity there to increase these type to yeah increase the number of tools, these types of engagement tools to the betterment for the benefit of city residents to keep them informed and engaged. And also, besides me, there were other candidates for District 3 commissioner there as well, which is good to see because I think that we're all of us like me are here to serve. We want to serve our constituents, our fellow residents, and I think it's good to see those that I saw that we had those candidates there in order to just be a part of the empowerment of our fellow residents. So what I at this community budget meeting, the representative from the Office of Management and Budget gave us these nice little pretty briefing guides, this material that lays out the budget in brief for fiscal year 2024 and 2025. I I felt that I looked through it, and since I'm not an accountant, I I did notice that it did paint a nice rosy picture of Miami's budget posture as well as the brief that the representative from the budget department gave. But it did leave me with some questions. Like, for one, um, are we operating, is the city of Miami operating at a budget surplus or is it operating at a budget deficit? Now, I know that the nonprofit nonpartisan organization Truth in Accounting, or Truth in Accounting, they have they have given Miami, and I've talked about this in other videos, they've given Miami a D because it's currently in the hole. But you would never know by looking at this brief, which it has some interesting things regarding like where what the budget looks like, where the money is allocated to, the different departments. So it's a very informative piece. I just felt that it gives a nice little pretty rosy picture. There are there is briefs in here, a portion in here that talks about the millage rates, and the millage rates are, in case if you don't know, that's the percentage of tax that's paid on a particular value of property, the percentage tax paid on value for property taxes. And, to their credit, the millage rates have consistently gone down in the city of Miami for the since 2015. So that's one of the things that look positive about the city's financial posture. Homeowners like myself are, in fact, they're paying less of a rate, despite the fact that their home values are in fact going up. So if you're a homeowner like me and you're looking to save money, that's actually a good thing. But again, it's still there's a lot of questions that I still had. Like I asked if, and I didn't get it. I didn't get the answer from here, but I asked the representative from the budget department what the city was in fact paying, just an estimate of what it was paying in interest on the debt, on the money that it is borrowing. They couldn't give me an answer right there. I just got an answer in my on my email, an answer for that just before I got on here. So I'm gonna look at that, look at their answer. They told me that I would need to. They gave me a link and a document that I could look through and the page number. I haven't had a chance to go through that, but I will. I'm going to look at that and get a exact number as to what we're paying. The reason I asked that question because I just wanted to get a sense as to if Miami was getting a decent deal regarding its what it was paying on interest. And because one of the things that I have advanced as a candidate was the possibility of finding alternate forms of revenue or finding alternate places where the Miami could borrow money at cheaper interest rates. So the answer to that question was very important for that inquiry. In addition, uh, they did give us a list of all the capital projects within the district that were being funded in this little brief right here, at least for District 3. The all the items it listed all the different projects that the budget for this particular fiscal year was funding, including projects from the Office of Capital Improvements, Parks and Recreation, Code Compliance, and Resilience in Public Works. So too much to go into, but this was basically a line item list of items of which to a line item list of the things that are getting funded with this year's budget. And I'd be happy to provide that with anybody. Yeah, just send me an email at coralwaydemocrats@gmail.com and I can like definitely send you a PDF file just so you can get an idea. Um, so it was a pretty informative meeting, at least for me anyway. It was an opportunity to submit input on the things that myself and the other residents wanted to see, which is always a good thing. I asked if there could be more of those meetings because I felt that I spoke with the representative at the budget department, and she told me that they only have those meetings twice a year, which I think is woefully too little. I asked for more, at least one every 2 months, but I don't I don't know if that's going to come to fruition. At the very minimum, I think commissioners should be the ones to to keep their constituents informed about these types of things, kind of like what I'm doing right here, right now. So the most interesting part about this meeting was getting all the input from the residents that were there. And yeah, it was quite a spirited discussion, and that's what I like to see. I like to see community members feeling engaged, feeling empowered, and being informed. So some of the things that came up of what residents are concerned about was there was a great deal of consternation regarding illegal dumping. The attendees asked about if there could be more cameras to catch illegal dumpers in the act. Now, the police chief informed us that there used to be an environmental section of the police department, but that has since been disbanded, unfortunately. So there's that enforcement mechanism to ensure that residents are protected from people that dump bulk trash illegally on their property is no longer with us. But there was concern about, okay, can what resources can we get as a city to ensure that that type of stuff, that type of activity occurs less and less. Also, there was a legitimate worry about the lack of traffic calming devices throughout the different neighborhoods, especially with that horrific pedestrian fatality that occurred earlier in early last month on June 10th, where some insane driver was speeding at like in excess of 70 miles per hour right through Shenandoah, my neighborhood, and killed somebody. So there was concern about funding for more traffic calming devices, particularly in the neighborhoods to keep people safe. Also, missed garbage pickups. There was a lot of input from the attendees regarding their concerns about missed garbage pickups, what was being what was being done to facilitate that bulk trash pickups or just even just regular trash pickups. In City of Miami, trash is supposed to be picked up twice a week, but apparently there are folks within the district that are finding that their trash is not getting picked up as often as it should. And that is a legitimate concern. And if there's obviously if this is a funding issue, well then yeah, that definitely needs to be considered. There was a perceived lack of code enforcement against rental units in residential areas. The reps there said that there are in fact 10 code enforcers per district. So that would be something to definitely to address concerns, or is that enough? Is or do we need to fund more? So that is definitely uh, it's an item that gets people upset, and but we want to make sure that the resources are in place to alleviate their concerns and to objectively look at is everything being done that needs to be done, obviously. Uh, Concerns about the lack of funds in the tree hardship fund, particularly funds for low-income homeowners who where trees on their property might pose a significant risk or danger. There was concern that is there enough, are the people that really need help with the permitting process or paying for the fees to remove trees, are they being taken care of? In addition, there was some outspoken concern regarding the the fact that the city was going to pay for 300 more police officers. I was surprised that there was concern for that. I mean, well, I'd say pleasantly surprised because I'm definitely a fan of the police. I just feel that okay, we an objective look should be looked at as to how many officers we truly need. Uh, this was an item that got approved on the commission meeting during the commission meeting on June 26th to allocate funding over the next 3 years to add 300 more officers. So, and there was a concern at this meeting that, okay, is that really a good place to spend our money? Is that the best use of our money? Public safety is important, but my platform wants to do it with a balanced approach. We definitely want to have enough officers on the streets, but we don't want to like over police, and we want to use resources, fund resources that can like give us a balanced approach to ensure public safety. She also um, there was also a lack of some concern brought up over the lack of public visibility regarding the tracking of law enforcement liability funds, and that's a legitimate concern. If there if the public is unaware as to how much money is being spent every year on to pay for the liability judgments against officers, well, then that's a lack of transparency, and that's definitely something that I would be looking to to improve as a commissioner. It's one of the things on my platform: transparency, ethics, and transparency, without question. There was also a good idea brought up that I felt regarding a gentleman brought this up, the idea of a city ombudsman, and an ombudsman typically within a municipality, and I'm ombudsman is somebody that oversees the processes, department processes, customer service, and the like to ensure that the city is running eff- effectively and smoothly. in the most efficient and most effective way possible. It kind of mirrors what I suggested on previous videos about reinstating the Auditor General and giving that individual and their office and their staff a mandate to have an objective look at city departments in order to ensure that the city is being responsive and that its services are being provided in the most effective and efficient way possible. So I thought that was a really good point to bring up, and it's definitely something that I would definitely be looking into as a candidate as part of my policy platform, which would be go along with the piece of my policy platform that deals specifically with ethics and transparency. A little bit of overlap there, um, in addition to with engagement tools. Anything that would, any office that would allow the city of Miami to be more responsive and more effective to their constituents. Now, what this all means, that I think what this can mean for the city, this particular community budget meeting that got all this great input from residents and all this great information from city departments. What I found is that the concerns brought up pretty much boil down to some key pillars within the platform that I'm running on: revenue and affordability, ethics and transparency, engagement tools, and traffic calming and transit expansion. And if my platform is listed on my website, I just got that up this week. It's Rob Piper, www.robpiperheretoserve.com. No spaces, no dashes. So I would encourage folks watching to go ahead and check that out. But regarding revenue and affordability, I would say that there, obviously from the input on the regarding from the residents at the meeting, there's a desire for increased funds to pay for cameras to catch illegal dumpers. There's also a concern about like funding for homeowners that might have a hardship regarding tree removal, as well as more money, the need for more money to be put into that. And what do we need to expand resources, financial resources, to ensure that trash is picked up in a timely manner? The folks at the meeting, the representatives from the meeting assured everyone that trash pickup shouldn't have any more issues. They're completely funded to where they need to do to make those runs in a timely manner. So we'll just have to wait and see. I'll be like getting with the my neighbors around the different sections of District 3 to find out if that is in fact the case. But revenue and affordability, it dictates finding new sources of revenue in order to ensure that the services get funded. And I talked about this in a previous video, that services in a city as rich and wealthy as Miami should not suffer from a lack of funding. And that's where a revenue generating either task force or a board, an oversight board, would come in handy in order to give an objective analysis regarding where we could find more revenue, and is it politically and economically feasible to do so. Next pillar, ethics and transparency. The one resident at the meeting, they brought up their concern regarding the lack of visibility of the tracking of law enforcement liability funds. And that is a very legitimate concern. And there should definitely be, that would definitely be something that would need to be added or brought back. Because as I understand it, there was a tracking mechanism that was publicly visible, but as I understand it, it's not there anymore. So that would be something to be brought back under the pillar of ethics and transparency. With engagement tools, engagement being like another part of my platform, uh, what this has told me is that residents are hungry for these types of events. These community budget meetings where residents can interact with city reps and get the information they need. If the city reps are unable to do it, I think at the very minimum, commissioners should be having regular meetings with their constituents, either by showing up in neighborhood association meetings or by just having the events on a regular basis for the constituents to come in and interact, and then the commissioners can talk to share information like I'm doing now with Miami residents. I think that is definitely a tool that is very, very, very necessary, particularly when you look at the city government. It can be pretty confusing to follow. So this regular engagement, I think it's important to empower residents in order to and inform them and keep them educated. When I spoke with the rep, she said that they only have these twice a year. I don't think that's nearly enough. I think the budget department should have these at the very minimum 6 times a year. But I wouldn't hold my breath at that happening. That's where I think it would fall on commissioners to fill that gap. Now, the city, they currently they do have engagement tools in place. They have a social media account, they have a YouTube account. In fact, like I said, I found out about the budget meeting by on I found out that the city did in fact advertise this budget meeting on its Facebook page. And that's a good start. I think there could be more could be done, particularly from commissioners to facilitate more increased engagement from Miami residents. And finally, traffic calming and transit expansion. I have yet to see. There's not currently an official traffic calming input process that's available to every neighborhood equally. I know in District 3, this is from talking with some of the other residents that lived in Miami, lived in District 3 longer than I have, that there is a some degree of favoritism amongst from some neighborhoods get more attention than others regarding traffic calming. In fact, this in a one I think the last commission meeting, or I think maybe the one before the last, there was a resolution that had been introduced to introduce a traffic calming devices in one particular neighborhood. When I asked about this, if this was possible for my particular neighborhood or just any other neighborhood in District 3, the impression I got was not likely, which is a problem. I mean, I think there should be mechanisms of to whether it be like a task force, a a an advisory board, create a new advisory board for communities to submit their input regarding what they need to get for traffic calming and transit expansion. There is a request mechanism on the City of Miami website where people can request traffic calming devices on a particular street. I've actually used that for the very first time earlier this week, and so we'll see if anything occurs, if any closure comes to that. But if anyone has any questions regarding where to send it, just send me an email again at coralwaydemocrats@gmail.com, and I'll forward you the link that I used. I don't remember the exact website address, but if you were just to Google traffic calming City of Miami, it'll take you right to that link, and you can make a submission, uh, telling them exactly what you need. But I think that there needs to be mechanisms in place or created that will create a more responsive process for City of Miami residents, whether they be in District 3 or in District or in the other districts in Miami, to have a more robust ability to get traffic calming studies done in their neighborhood to ensure that we don't have people driving like maniacs in our neighborhoods and killing people, which was utterly, utterly, utterly tragic and unfortunate that it had to happen. So I think I learned a lot. I'm going to keep learning a lot, and I'm going to keep sharing what I learned with all of you every 2 weeks. Well, every first and fourth week of the month until November 4th, until the election. Assuming we have our election on November 4th of this year, but I'm going to keep doing it. And definitely, I encourage everybody to, if you're watching this video on YouTube, like it, and subscribe to the channel, as well as if you have any concerns, questions, feel free to email them to me at growawaydemocrats@gmail.com. Thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for watching, and you all have yourselves a pleasant evening.